Hello Taurus, welcome to the Black-Hearted Oracle. Now before we get started, I'd like to pay homage and reverence to Mother Sustainer, Father Creator, and of course my beautiful ancestors. Now what you see laid before you is the heart of the matter for your Where Do We Stand spread, which is a general love reading. And this love reading will be conducted in a two-part video series. The first part will deal with your perspective, and the second will deal with your person of interest perspective. Now, this is the heart of the matter, so let's get into it. We have strategy, we have luck is on your side, we have dissipating, and we have cross, number 36. And strategy is 21. So it's saying that a strategy is really needed in order to break these dissipating energies. Because with the new moon in Sagittarius, there's a lot of luck on your side right now, but what's needed is you have to know where you're pointing your arrow to. Because just because the luck is there doesn't mean that you get to access it without actually moving towards these goals. Like, you know, people always say they want things, but if they're only sitting in their house and doing nothing, then nothing can come of it. So you're going to have to figure out a good strategy in order to break these dissipating energies and know where you're guiding your arrow to get over these burdens and crosses. Because when we're going through these energies, they're not meant to just torture us. What they're meant to do is bring us to a higher state of enlightenment through the trials. Because sometimes we get so caught up in the regular routine that it's hard to break these things without something coming in to give us a little more oomph, a little shove in the right direction, in other words. Okay. Now, the first question that I asked is how you view yourself. No, sorry, this is not for Taurus. This is for the P.O.I. So Taurus is P.O.I. How do you view yourself? We have patience. We have the answers you need are cunning. I believe Aquarius's partner received this, but patience was in reverse. We have soulmate. We have creation, and we have mice. Okay. So Taurus, you're seeing yourself as patient, as someone who is figuring out the strategies in order to get what you want, to get these dreams off the ground. And you know that time is an illusion, because your higher chakra is crowned gloriously with crystals. So you're very patient because you know whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever has you waffling back and forth right now, you know that the answers are coming, right? And this soulmate situation that you're in with this person, you know, like one is always the runner. In this card, one is always the runner. And the next one is always begging, like, you know, please don't go, I love you, what are you doing? Don't break up what we had. Like, you know, all that kind of heartfelt tugging when somebody that you love is leaving, right? And now it's time for him to come to the point where he's going to leave again. And what happened is, in his mind, he keeps thinking that, okay, it's going to go exactly as it always does. But this time when he leaves, his partner just looks at him and says, well, okay, I love you. There's no more don't leave. There's no more don't go. There's no more begging and prodding for the person to stay. Because this person now has come to realize that it's better to focus those energies on creation. Because whatever soulmate cycle was going on was being ruined by the mice, right? And I always say mice can't go into anything and keep it healthy. So the dialogue between the two was causing such a destruction that now this person has decided to fully focus on their creation and their creativity and have patience with this. And totally believe that if what's yours is yours, you know, and if you guys are meant to be, then you guys will be. But in the meantime, Taurus, you're deciding to focus. The person of interest is deciding to focus on creation. How does the P.O.I view Taurus? The world and the broken heart. Then we have new moon in Libra. And then we have full moon in Scorpio. We have destiny, ring, wisdom. Wow, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, P.O.I is viewing Taurus as someone who has been heartbroken, right? Someone who has been heartbroken and is in the process of releasing negativity. I'm sorry. Because as you can see, the heart is mending and it's like that last tear to fall. So even though the heart is not fully what it was, it's not fully healed, it's not fully out of pain, it's not fully reconstructed, it's most in the process of doing that. So it might still be a little sore, but they're in the process of releasing negativity because a new romantic cycle begins with the new moon in Libra, and the world is here too, also representing that it's time for a new cycle. And the lotus, I always like to point out the lotus in this deck because these decks that I'm working with, they have a lot of lotuses in them, and I appreciate that because what the lotus is telling you that from their darkest, dingiest pain, the muck of your life is what actually builds you into the character that's meant to tackle your dreams and shine beautifully, and greet the sun, because they're realizing that you are their destiny and they're committed to this because of all the wisdom that they've received out of this relationship. They figure that you are their life partner because there's this crane. The cranes represent loyalty and commitment. They are a couple that I believe they mate for life, as few things in nature does. But they return to the same home and rebuild it every spring. So not only are they life partners, they're also I guess the symbol of the rebirth of spring. So, wow, that's beautiful. So they see you as somebody who is going through some things, like your heart has been broken, but you're on the mends. How do you... Okay. I'm sorry. How does the P.O.I see the relationship? A magician in the mirror. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. Growth. Wow. And wishing well. Aw, this is so beautiful. So Taurus, your P.O.I sees that this relationship is capable of creating whatever you guys wish. The magician in the mirror is one who sees himself truly. So he sees, or she sees, this relation truly. And being that this is 8, the infinity cycle is over his crown chakra. So he knows that you guys are going to go through cycles, the ebbs and flows. But in the end of it all, they believe in the impossible. They believe that everything here is here for you guys. That this relationship is like a once in a lifetime type relationship. It's something that you do not buck upon very often. And they know that there's a lot of growth to be had within it. And it is what they were wishing for, because even if they were having other options at some point, which, the cards don't say that, I'm just, with the wishing well, that's what I'm getting, is that even though they were having other options, the more they looked into the wishing well, the more they saw themselves and realized that they already found what they were looking for. So if they were the cause of your heart being broken, they're believing in the impossible of you guys' relationships being able to mend and grow to a higher state to fulfill both of you guys' wishes, because both of you are the magician in the mirror. Okay. What the P.O.I. is expecting: fulfillment, envy, fragment, communication is key, rejection. Let's try to get all these in. And, okay. So even though they're expecting fulfillment, right? I just have to believe that they caused some kind of, that Taurus's P.O.I. has caused some kind of pain in Taurus's. Because, I mean, they see you as mending, right? And they see that they're expecting fulfillment. But they know that there's envy here. And things are at a very big disconnect. Because this speaks of having everything that you need, but not realizing it. Looking on the outside for the fulfillment that's here. Not realizing that she has silver, even though she's staring at the gold. Right? And this is causing such a fragmented sense, is that someone should be looking internally when they're more focused on the outside. And this is causing a fragmented mind or a fragmented situation. But to bring this back in balance is the Gemini energies, is communication. But what's happening is this person is being very afraid of rejection. But they shouldn't be, because just as the magician in the mirror was telling them, is the fact that you can create whatever you want. So instead of thinking about rejection, think about healing of this relationship. Think about the possibilities of good things coming in. You know, think about how you feel when you get flowers, how that tingle in your heart just happens, male or female, you know, masculine, feminine. Just think about how you feel. So focus more on the positive things, because you can create whatever you want. The mind is a very powerful thing, and the fuel of it is the emotions. So be very careful. Now the outcome for the P.O.I. is complicated. Oh, okay. Full moon in Leo. Grief. Okay, let's do it. Grief, gossip, and faith. And lilies again. See? All right. So it's really telling you about the duality that's going on here. Because whatever has happened in the relationship has caused so much grief to the heart chakra. It's caused so much gossip. You know, if you look at this person's face, like, she's smiling, right? And these people are closing off their heart chakra. They're totally closing it off. And if you could see the faces of them, like side eyes and everything. But she doesn't care. She's more focused on her creativity and truly living in her purpose, because of the faith that's here, of knowing that whatever you guys are building can be long lasting, and it can be beneficial to you both. But there's so much complication here. And it's urged that your P.O.I. doesn't let their pride get in the way of what could be something very beautiful. But a lot of faith is going to be required in order to restore the peace and the abundance and to enter a new cycle. Okay, well, we have closing guidance for you guys. Okay. And see the cranes represented again here and here. So it's very important You guys seem to be a really good couple, but there's been a lot of hurt and a lot of things happening in the relationship that's caused it now to be distorted and complicated. Okay. 30, courage. Action takes courage. We often feel like fish out of water, separate and different from the world around us. But fish out of water can learn to swim in a new air of consciousness and with new purpose in life. Perhaps it is identification with objects and clinging to addictions that keep you feeling separate from the source of your power. Perhaps it is not only a dependence on drugs, sex, or alcohol, but also addictions like the fear of failure, the need for approval, or the fear of desertion. Discover your own power and meaning by having the courage to give up your addictions, then live your power with courage. Wow. That is extremely powerful for this reading, right? Because it was time to release negativity, remember? And this one is impeccability. It says, 25, move into that place of perfection within you. That place of truth, responsibility, competence, and intuition. Collect your discipline like a Buddha meditating in a garden of snow. Impeccability is an area of strength that continues to flame within, maintaining your power and intent. This flame burns in your center always, indicating the level of your compatibilities and your effectiveness in bringing events into being. Impeccability is tended by the attentions of your sacred witness, that person within you who constantly observes the target. Gather your power with impeccability, with the intensity of a rubber band pulled and held at its breaking point, and focus your intent for the job about to be done. Now, if you guys remember the beginning guidance that you guys had, about make sure you know where you're pointing your arrow to, because luck was on your side and that you needed a strategy. So if you are stuck in any form of addiction that is keeping you away from really realizing your full power, now would be a really good time to put that aside. Because there's so much potential and possibility here for you, but it's being drowned out by the negative voices within you. And you're having a distorted view. Well, I thank you so much for coming to the Black-Hearted Oracle. I pray these messages found you well. I hope that you find your higher self in the quiet places, and may Ma'at hold you in her loving grace. Ashe.